Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
It's okay. It gets better. But this movie, 1988, it was actually shot, I guess, 86, 87, 88. It goes back to have you heard of the NYU Film School?
Yeah.
NYU Film School for 40 years, 50 years, has been kind of the cream of the crop film school in New York. It's where the avant-garde, the greats have come out of the New York University Film School. Well, we're not talking about any of those people. No, we're talking about the producers of this movie. But you know what? The thing about the New York Film School, the New York University Film School, these are people that are passionate about what they're doing. And keep in mind that whenever somebody makes a movie, they never set out usually to make a bad movie.
Yeah.
They're wanting to put their heart and soul into this. They're wanting to achieve this vision they had in their mind. And so the story of Flesh Eating Mothers goes back to the time these guys were in college. So let me give you some names. Our director for Flesh Eating Mothers is, James Avilio, is that right? I never can get his middle name right. Anyhow, let's call him James Martin. He has his middle name. You'll see it on the screen here. Which is terrible. His first job on a film was at New York University. He was helping out with a fellow student's film called Slaughter High. Have you ever heard of Slaughter High?
Yes.
Now that's one that I saw way back when. I haven't seen it in years. I now need to see it again just to remember. But as I remember, it was just kind of your 80s slasher, exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So he met, these guys met. It's a little group of people, and I don't have all their names. I'm sorry, because the thin information on this movie. Nobody writes about this movie. So they met on Splatter University, and then Martin, the director, co-wrote I Was a Teenage Zombie. Now, I know I Was a Teenage Zombie because in the 80s I was at a video store and I found the poster for I Was a Teenage Zombie, and it's been on, I've now inherited my parents' old house, meaning I inherited my old room, which still has all my posters, and I've got I Was a Teenage Zombie poster.
Hell yeah.
That's been there for probably 40 years. Whoa. And I'm still very proud of my wall with part of the poster. But so he was co-writer on I Was a Teenage Zombie. If you haven't seen it, Virginia Madsen and a bunch of people you never heard of go to the prom with a zombie. Now it's cliche. Then it was actually kind of a cool, interesting idea. It was very contemporary, and it was done exactly like a high school movie. So I thought I Was a Teenage Zombie kind of worked. It's a fun movie. So they worked on I Was a Teenage Zombie. His work got seen. He picked up a sponsor offering him $10,000 to make his next movie. That $10,000 becomes the entire budget for Flesh Eating Mothers.
Oh,
Nice.
So he took that money, wrote a script with his partner Peter Illich, Peter Illich was the director of Splatter University.
yeah.
So they were old buddies from school, and he co-wrote this movie with Zeb Schlesinger. So it doesn't matter who they are. Don't worry about it. But here's where things started getting interesting. They're going through and they're picking other people from the New York University film scene. They pick up cinematographer Harry Eisenstein. I'll get back to him. They also pick up this kid who is passionate about doing special makeup effects. He's passionate about it. His name, Carl Sorensen. I'm gonna get back to these guys. These are the interesting part of the movie. So they pull together the whole thing. They cast Robert D. Oliver as Jeff Nathan, Donatella Hecht is Lyndon Douglas, Neil Rosen is Rinaldi Vindolo. Rinaldi is kind of my favorite character in the movie. You'll see he goes through most of the movie with a head wound.
Hell yeah.
And Valerie Hubbard is the only one that went on to do a lot of work, and she did a lot of TV and nothing I'd ever heard of, so probably nothing y'all ever heard of either. It was in the 80s, 90s. She's still acting, but I don't recognize her for who she was then. A few other people came together. Where did he get them? They put an ad in Backstage magazine. And from that ad, that's how they cast 90% of these people.
Wow.
So when you watch these Oscar-worthy performances, keep in mind, $10,000 budget, and whoever replied to the Backstage ad, they pretty much went right into the movie. It's like, oh, you're interested? Yeah, you're in. Bring your own clothes. Let's go back and talk about these effects guys, and more importantly, let me talk about what these guys went on to do. Our cinematographer, Harry Eisenstein. It's not Einstein, it's Eisenstein. He would go on to become an effects guru. I mean, his visual effects just recently. I'm only going to mention in the last 10 years or so. He was cinematographer and visual effects for The Maze Runner, The Flash, and Captain America: Brave New World.
Wow.
This was his first job. If you
come a long way, baby.
Go look him up on Internet Movie Database, and you just see him start. He's doing and then bigger movie, bigger movie, and then he's doing these epic Hollywood big films.
Wow.
And so he's established himself, and literally they call him the guru of visual effects. His partner, the special effects makeup coordinator, was Carl Sorensen. Now, Carl Sorensen's only known for like 3 movies, but the most important movie that you would know Carl Sorensen from is Chucky. He did the makeup effects in Chucky, the blood, the splatters. In the first movie, he didn't do any more movies after the first one.
Okay.
But Carl was the one that helped design Chucky, helped design the mechanics and the way that the doubles would play Chucky. That was all him. And so his work ends up carrying through all of the Chucky movies right up until the series from a few years ago, because he was the visionary that came up with it. I thought that was cool as hell. And he also has an appearance in Chucky. I think he plays like a lab technician.
Cool.
It's like, what are you doing, Carl? Get in there. Put on a lab coat. So, these New York University students, and this is what I love about student films, and this is why we do the Highlands Horror Fest, is you don't know where these people are going to end up, but you can be there when they start. And that's the most fun. I don't know how many people over the years, I used to do film showcases myself. So many people that did that are now working in the film industry, or doing really good work in other industries that nobody would have ever thought of in like 2004. But this is where the excitement comes in. This is my core thesis here, is go support these new kids. It may suck. The first ones are always going to suck. But that's where you start, and you get better, and you get better, and you don't know where it's going to go. So you can come across some great stuff, and then those people might be able to buy you beers or get you jobs later on. That's what you gotta do. So not a whole lot about this movie documented. I know that it was filmed in Blauville, New York, Rockland County, New York, Astoria, Queens. Budget's about $10,000. It was shot over 4 weeks. That's fast. Most of the cast found through the Backstage magazine. The police station set, there's a kind of a morgue kind of set. Actually, they're all the same set. They just dress them up. It's in a local community college. And you can see the big community college lockers and the brick wall that you would recognize from any high school or community college. Is in the background of all those scenes because they're all the same room. They're just dressed up. This was the first movie from Valerie Hubbard, Ali Nielsen, Isabella Covetti, but they didn't go on to do much else, so not really that impressive. The original title of the movie was Mothers, and of course the whole thing is based on, y'all weren't around for the early 80s, I was. So in 1980-ish, suddenly there's this plague going through and it's wiping out. At the time, they thought only the homosexual were evil, and no one knew what it was, and nobody had identified it. And that's all that was on the news. You read the papers, you see news, this mysterious virus is coming through. And that's what inspired this. The AIDS scare is carried over, and now you have a bunch of mothers in a little neighborhood. They're all sleeping with the same gigolo kind of guy, and they all catch the cannibalism virus. the movie starts off like gangbusters. The movie starts off really interesting. The pre-rolls, as we call it, the pre-roll part, the intro, was shot a year after the movie was finished. They're like, we need something here to get it really kicking off, because even the filmmakers knew the beginning of this movie is so excruciatingly boring to me that I was really worried this wasn't going anywhere. But don't you worry, my friends. Once the virus really kicks in, once these guys who are going to go on to great effects careers start really showing off. I mean, these are effects guys. You can see it in what they're doing. They are showing off. This is what we're going to do with very little. We have $10,000 budget. And it really pops. It just takes a lot of patience to get there. But once it starts popping, once you know how horror movies are, once the frenzy begins, there is so much to laugh at, so much to enjoy, just the pure gore effects that they came up with, the cleverness. It's something that carried on into Hollywood, and now all of Hollywood has benefited from flesh-eating mothers by giving birth to these amazing effects guys, if nothing else. So that excites me, just seeing that, the kind of thing. Other information, it's only an hour and 29 minutes. You can make it. I believe in you. The sound mix is in surround mono. So we've got the surround mono system set up. That's the Star Wars mono system. Yeah. It's in color.
Thank God.
Yeah. And what else? Post-production, it took 2 years to complete. So they finished it in probably 85, 86. It took 2 years, and a year in there, they went back and did reshoots. And they finished it. It came out in September of 1988. And I'm going to point out, spoiler, I'm sorry, this bugged me. With all the trash in this movie, and there's a lot, and I loved it, they establish they've got the virus. The day is saved with penicillin. That's all I have to say. I might go off after the movie. Just saying. We know a lot more about medicine than we did in the 80s. Yeah. So now we're going to play Flesh-Eating Mothers. That's honestly everything on the internet about this movie. You now know everything there is to know about this movie. It's in 1 day, 1 to 1.85 to 1 ratio. There, that's the last detail I got.
Before we get started, does anybody not have a button or sticker and would like one?
I'll take one.
Your originals.
I would love one.
So you can represent.
I would love it.
I think you should put represent.
There you go. There you go. Like a sticker?
Oh yeah, do we